Hey everybody, Dale Braswell here with our weekly Wedgwood update, and this is actually going to be the last update of 2020. So we are going to be off next week, and our next weekly update will occur the first week of January. So no weekly update next week. This will be our last one of the year. Now, we got a lot to pack into our update for this week, so let me go ahead and get started with a reminder about a very important announcement that we had in our worship service on Sunday, in which we are going to be instituting a policy that requires folks to have masks on at all times whenever they're here on the church campus. So that means whenever you come onto campus, you'll see some signage now that reminds you about this new policy. We'll be requiring masks as you're walking around, as you're in the worship center, as you're in your missional communities as well. Now, let's just cut to the heart of all this. This decision is going to make some people happy, and it's going to make other people unhappy. Just like in the same way when we were only strongly encouraging masks, there were some that were happy with that. There were others that were not. And as I alluded to on Sunday, there's people that have articles that have quote-unquote science on to support their view, whatever it may be. And I'll just be real honest with you. This is a no-win situation. We understand that as a leadership, we're not going to make everybody happy, but we just have to do what we think is the loving thing as we try to move forward as a church body, even though that may not end up being the right thing as time may prove on into the future. And so what do I mean for all of this? I mean this, that as a church body, I think it's going to be important for us to be unified. And unity doesn't mean that we all think the same. It means that we have differing opinions, but we're able to still come together and have dialogue and show grace and love and kindness to one another. And so that's what I'm going to encourage Wedgwood to continue to do and to seek to do it even more and more. Paul talks about this in a little bit in 1 Thessalonians. He says, "You have excelled in your love for one another, but now I want you to excel even more." He was saying to his beloved Thessalonian church, you're doing a good job of loving one another, but keep doing that. I think Wedgwood is a church that has shown incredible grace and kindness and love towards one another, but we could always use more of that, especially right now. And so that's my encouragement to our church body, that as we move forward in this slightly altered direction, that we continue to be loving, that we continue to seek the overall unity, and that we focus maybe less on masks and more on the glory and the beauty and the majesty of the God that we serve, and seek to make His glory known not only within our worship, but outside of these walls in the lives of the people in the community. And so know that I'm going to continue to be praying for this church. I know that you are all praying for us, our church leadership as well, and that is very much appreciated. But I know that God has some great things to teach us through this, and there's some great things in store for us as we continue to be faithful to do what He's called us to do as a church. And so, that aside, we do have some other important updates as well as we look ahead. So the first one is our December 24th, our Christmas Eve service, which will be on Thursday night, Christmas Eve, at 6 o'clock in our worship center. So it's going to be a great time of singing some Christmas carols, opening God's Word for a little bit, having a candlelight service at the end that I know many of our folks look forward to. And so we hope to see you there. This is a great opportunity to be able to gather together and worship. It will be live streamed as well for those of you that are unable to attend in person. And then a few days later, on Sunday, December 27th, we will have just worship only. No missional communities, just worship at 9 a.m. And during that time, we're actually going to close out the year with what I think is very much needed in the life of our church, with a season of prayer. And so I'll share briefly from God's Word, but then we're going to spend a considerable amount of time just praying together and seeking after God and asking Him to work in and through us and to help us as we continue to navigate just all the craziness that has been 2020 and as we look into 2021 as well. And then finally, we have, as we come to the year end, we want just to remind you of the opportunity that you have, that if you would like to give any kind of a year-end donation to the life and the ministry of Wedgwood, to be sure to do that by the end of the year. You can give online on our website. You can text the word GIVE to our number, which is 817-292-1400. You can be able to give on Sunday the 27th. So there's a lot of different ways for you to make any kind of last financial donations that you want to do. If you're going to be mailing in your donation, make sure to postmark it by December 31st as well. So that's it for this week's weekly Wedgwood update. That's it for 2020 as well. I hope that you have a great week. We look forward to seeing you in these opportunities that we have to gather for worship, either online or in person. And we look forward to seeing you in the new year as well. Have a great week. God bless.